this point, one of the best in the business. It's Matt Ryan. What's happening?
Not much, man. Happy to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure to see you. And the first thing that strikes me, it is weird when I see athletes in person and out of uniform, out of that context. Man, you're tall, you know?
Thank you.
You really are.
I'm assuming that's a compliment.
It is a compliment. And what's further, I'm sure you heard of the report or the research thing or whatever they did where they studied the facial characteristics of QBs, and you were determined to be the perfect looking quarterback. How did that sit with you?
Sat well.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with them, but I mean, I can, but I could like,
weird.
I'm not going to be weird, but I could like use it if I wasn't married. That could be like a, you know,
did you
my
know
face is symmetrical.
That would be a weird thing to pitch to a hypothetical lady. Would be like, hey, I don't know if you know, but I'm handsome. Like they would
take
either
a look
know
at
that
it.
or they wouldn't, right?
I guess they would.
Hey, tell us about this limited edition of Gatorade flavor.
So I've partnered up with Gatorade for a long time, but this year's pretty cool. They've made a limited edition Peach Blitz flavor, and I got to try it. It's really good. You got to take it home for your son.
I will. And peach because that's the flavor, and Blitz because you do football.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
You know, they're paying homage to the great state of Georgia, the Peach State, and the city of Atlanta, which is cool, and I appreciate them doing that. But the Blitz portion of it, you know, it went well.
Have you, well, I look forward to drinking it sooner rather than later. Now, have you ever considered the fact that the NFC South, in the era of 4-team divisions, I am almost 100% sure you have in the division Cam Newton number 1, you wear number 2, Jameis wears 3, and Drew Brees wears 9 for a grand total of 15. No division has quarterbacks with that combined low a total of quarterback numbers. Have you ever thought about it?
I have never thought about
Weird,
that.
Isn't it?
It
15.
is. 1, 2, 3.
Patrick Mahomes by himself has the same
15.
number as you guys.
Done.
Right?
That is. When did you do this research?
You know what?
It just came to you?
That's like one of those things. That's like you, like picking up the blitz. I just relied on natural ability. That's like what I did with that.
It's well done.
Thank you.
It's well done.
Why 2?
Why 2? So I wore number 2 when I was in high school, and the guy who was killing it in college at the time was Tim Couch at Kentucky. Tim Couch wore 2, and so I think I was in like 8th grade or something. I wore number 2, and then I wore it in college.
You have to be the only man on the face of the earth that was inspired by
Tim Couch, man.
by UK's Couch.
Hal Mummy, I think Hal Mummy was calling plays for him. They were slinging it, throwing it everywhere. So I remember that was that. And then I went to Boston College and got number 12. And so when I came to Atlanta, I was going to wear number 12, but Michael Jenkins had the number. So I was like, you know what? I'll go back to 2.
And now you have surpassed, with all due respect to Mr. Couch, you've surpassed your hero and become the greatest 2 in pro football history. How does that sit with you? That's the savvy move that I give to everybody.
You got to take a number that nobody else has worn.
That's right. Let me tell you something. Mike Daniels, 76. I've told him, like, by your second season, you were the best 76 in football history.
Good player.
Alvin Kamara, 41. What? Terrence Newman, maybe? Like, I mean, come on. You're going to go down as the greatest.
41. This is really – I'd never considered that when I chose number 2.
You thought you were going to come out and be dropping knowledge on everybody, but instead, Matt Ryan's the one learning today.
Yes, I am. I've learned a lot.
For years I've been saying it's weird to me that in a world of 7 billion people that we can't collectively figure out 32 guys to successfully play quarterback in the NFL. It seems weird. Like, there's a lot to choose from. We can't get 32 of you guys to do it? Do you think that the state of QBing in pro football is – I mean, there are like 3 or 4 spots that need to fix teams around the league that need to fix QB, and otherwise everybody's all set, huh?
It is. I think it is really good right now. I think there's a lot of, from the age gap down, older to younger. There's a lot of good quarterback play in the league right now, and I think you're seeing that with the production of numbers and stuff like that. So, but the scarcity of finding them is good for job security.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point for you. What is it like? I love the human side of it, and it's a situation that few human beings have ever been in with to the magnitude that you are. And I don't want to bring up 51 to you, but the highs of being the city's hero and taking the team to the Super Bowl, and then carrying that with. Do you feel bad when it doesn't work out? Are you angry? Are you empathetic? Like, I'm sorry, city, or is everybody slapping you on the back? You're still our hero. What's that mentality like?
It's all of it. It's like everything you mentioned. There's a lot of people who have been incredibly supportive. There are a lot of people who are still pissed. I'm still angry, but I've gotten past it too. Like, there's a lot of different emotions that you have coming so close to getting it done. The biggest thing of all of it, though, is being there. It makes you want to get back, and it makes you want to be there again and have another opportunity at it and win it. And so that's more so than anything what that game makes me feel.
I'm really not trying to pick at the scab there, but for real, how do you get over that and come back the next season? And by the way, just so I want you to know, Matt Ryan, if no one else has told you this, your comeback season after that was just fine, and people acted like, oh, the Falcons, what happened to them after they lost that Super Bowl? You just about beat the Eagles in Philadelphia in January, and people treated that like, something. They better fix that team up. I thought, what did the world miss? You guys bounced back nicely, I thought.
I thought so too, and I mean, the only thing that would have been better is we would have beaten the Eagles, won the next week, and won 2 weeks later. I mean, it was a year that, unless you were going to win every game and just roll right through to the Super Bowl, nothing would have been a good encore to what we did in 2016. So I thought we handled that well. I mean, people talk about Super Bowl hangover all the time.
Yeah, right.
I thought we got past that.
Right.
You
we just
won
about
games.
won a big-time
We
road
beat
game.
L.A., which is a really good football team in L.A. We had a couple chances from inside the 10 to win at the end of the game against the Eagles and fell a little bit short.
And last thing, what do you make of because I think it's legitimate in the 21st century, and I feel like the Seahawks were a little ahead of the curve on, it's nice when you have a good QB on his rookie deal versus once the guy gets his big second contract, and how that kind of compromises the overall depth. Do you feel that way? Does that matter to you? Do you think, well, if I were a GM, I wouldn't be handing out a deal like that? I mean, how many guys are worthy of that kind of loot?
Well, I think that the salary cap structure is about to change as the next collective bargaining agreement comes along. I think that is going to increase, pretty big. So the percentage of what some of these new contracts at the quarterback position are going to be as you move forward into year 2 or 3 of your deal is not going to be as much of a hit as maybe it was earlier. I don't know. They're paying them, and it's an important position.
I would say perhaps even the most important position. Yeah, I'm fascinated by it because of the gravity, the pressure that you have to put yourself through and to feel it, whether you try and tune out the noise and everything. It's really remarkable stuff. And it's a weird thing that the human experience is soldiers who fight overseas, they feel nervous for you. Like, it should be the other way, but
they shouldn't.
But that kind of pressure, I admire anybody who can go through it and be as apparently breezy as you are as you deal with it all. You seem pretty grounded.
It's always breezy.
Yeah. Well, it's partially because you're tall. All right, go off into the day, Matt Ryan. Go talk to everybody and have a grand time, and we'll look forward to seeing you at a future Super Bowl.